Ma'am, there is an Oblivion crisis going on. That is not how you use that weapon. Ugh, I guess it's up to me to save the world. Today we are beating the Oblivion remaster with only a HOE. First, to pick a class. As it turns out, the HOE is a blunt two-handed weapon, which means I need a class with high strength and preferably high blunt. Additionally, the HOE has a disease, so hopefully a class that can resist those as well. Conveniently, Redguard checks all those boxes. I name him Jacob because, well, you know what you did, Jacob, and we're off! Because I can only do damage with the HOE, I am unable to fight anything. As such, after the Emperor's party leaves me, I just sprint through the whole dungeon, stopping only to collect a couple pieces of armor. I tell Old Man McDysoon that I was born under the warrior sign for increased strength and endurance. I'm not sure if it was the best choice, but it wasn't the worst. Also, for the first and possibly last time ever, I listen to Boris and hold a torch. Don't worry guys, I'll use my body as a distraction. It's working surprisingly well. Oh no, the Emperor is dead. Who could have ever guessed that if you leave him with the man who can't defend himself, he dies? Now it's time to pick my class, and of course I'm going to make my own. Specialized in strength, favorite attributes are strength and endurance, and my major skills are armor, blunt, heavy armor, restoration, and... honestly, I was having trouble picking the other three. In the end, I went with sneak, block, and illusion. Block because... blocking. Sneak because I thought I might be able to get some bonus damage, spoiler I can't, and illusion in case this weapon ends up being so bad I can't fight my way out of a paper bag. Exiting the sewers, you might expect my first objective is to beeline it straight for the HOE, but that's not quite right. Instead, I head to the Bruma Mages Guild branch. I'm sure some of you know where this is going, but for anyone that doesn't, buckle up, things are about to get Bethesda. Properly joining the Mages Guild requires a recommendation from each guild branch. Fortunately, we don't actually need to get that far in, we just need to become an associate for the key and start this specific recommendation quest. Our task is to find another member, Jaskar, who has seemingly gone missing. Normally, you would just chat up one of the other members who tells you they can help find him if you do something for him first, or you can find him yourself. He's actually just chilling in the guild hall, invisible. We don't want to do either of those things. What we want to do is wait until just after 8 PM and follow Volinaro into this room where he will cast a chameleon spell on Jaskar. But if we stand between them, we can get hit with it instead, granting us 100% chameleon for 24 in-game hours. That's right, with basically no setup aside from talking to an NPC, we are effectively invisible to the whole world for a day. Now it's time to head to Sundercliff Watch, and after hiking across half of Tamriel, I arrive. Hehe, no one suspects a thing. At some point I opened an Argonian's pockets and he didn't like that, but like, what's he gonna do? I'm the physical manifestation of the John Cena meme. After a bit of running around, I find it. My HOE. If you're looking at this noticing that something is amiss, don't worry, I noticed too. Eventually. So, while I, Ghost of Homus Present, deliver not so swift death to this whole dungeon, let me explain what this weapon actually is. As far as I can tell, it's just a reskinned iron warhammer, at least damage-wise. But it also has a unique enchantment on it, where it has a percentage chance to inflict several diseases on the target and a chance to inflict Ticklebridge on the user, thus my decision to use a class that resisted disease. And that's kinda it. We need to use a shitty damage weapon that occasionally makes us even shittier to beat the game, and that's the whole run. So, how did it go? Well, as you can see, I decided why not clear out this dungeon, mostly for the experience in blunt. It was also here that I realized sneak attacks with two-handed weapons only deal 1 times damage, so, no additional damage, which sucks, but it is what it is. I actually managed to make it to the end of the dungeon with my chameleon still active, but something kind of weird happened. Maybe I was supposed to talk to Farthen, I honestly don't remember, but he just kept healing until I tried, at which point he started taking damage. Feithung was also able to heal, but not as fast as I was able to output my damage, and with that, one of the most powerful daedric artifacts is mine. I literally never used it, it just sat in my inventory for the whole game. Oh well, guess it's time to save the world. First I head to Wayne Priory to tell Joffrey I have a special necklace. He doesn't believe that it is the special necklace, but upon showing him he is utterly convinced despite not using one of those $10 diamond tester thingies. He then reveals the existence of a secret heir to the throne and tells me that he is in Kvatch. Before I set out I take a short nap in his bed and level up strength, endurance, and agility. Honestly, this is how every level is going to look, except I occasionally switch to willpower for the extra fatigue and magicka regen. On my way up to Kvatch though, something occurred to me. My HOE wasn't magical, she was just a cheap run-of-the-mill stick. I mean, I did notice when I first picked it up that it wasn't enchanted, but I kinda thought maybe it was some, weird secret enchantment. I mean, come on, it's Oblivion, right? Tell me that wouldn't cross your mind too. But apparently this can just happen, or maybe the remaster removed this enchantment, I'm not completely sure. Either way, I attempted to reload a save and grab a new one, but nothing. I then took to the higher power of console commands to give myself a lot of them, but still nothing. So either I have unfathomably bad luck, the remaster removed it, or the enchantment being present is determined at some game flag check that I'd already crossed. I wasn't completely sure what to do here. I didn't really want to restart, even though I was only like an hour and a half in at this point, but otherwise, this is it's just a simple gardening tool that one uses to sow seeds for the future. A few of you commented on my Rusty Weapons Only video saying I should redo that run in the remaster, and I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that specifically, but I kinda rationalized that this was similar. I mean, I am using better armor, but this is basically the equivalent of an iron weapon, which is only slightly better than the Rusty versions anyway. Do let me know down in the comments if you want to see a Rusty Weapons version 2 though. Any excuse to play this game again is fine by me. Back in Kvatch, I storm the Oblivion Gate, trusty hoe in hand. Not gonna lie, when I'm not chameleoned 100%, this thing kinda sucks. It's very slow and deals piss poor damage. I knew I shouldn't have asked for the cheapest hoe Dagon had. Fun fact, this might be my first time using a two-handed blunt weapon, like, ever. I just don't like slow weapons in general. If it dealt considerable damage, I wouldn't mind, I guess, as power is usually the trade-off for speed, but this... feels like I'm swinging around a weighted pool noodle. I will say though that the overhead power attack is kinda satisfying in its own bonk sort of way. Must be the strength man in me trying to break loose. I actually started playing in third person for the first time ever because it felt better this way. I don't really know how to explain it. When in first person, the swings felt so shallow and without weight, but in third person I can see my character really wind up to whack something. It felt good, but there was an unintended personal consequence. It made it feel like I was playing some run-of-the-mill stock standard Unreal game. Not when I was in the Plains of Oblivion or near any noticeable landmarks, but like when I was just in the wilderness, it felt really generic. Which is one of the last things I would ever classify Oblivion as, and like I said, the moment anything Oblivion-like showed up, I was instantly back, but still, such a strange feeling. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, clubbing my way through Sauron's summer home. This early on, nothing really poses a threat, so the climb up is rather uneventful. And with the gate closed, Savlian's troops and I attempt to retake Kvatch from the baby dinosaurs and Darth Maul cosplayers. Martin, my hoe and I have come for you, now you must come with us. I'm starting to think that was not a well-worded sentence. Oh no, Wayne Priory, home of the Grandmaster of the Blades, is under siege by the enemy. Whoever could have seen this coming? Oh no, the Amulet of Kings, held in Wayne Priory, home of the Grandmaster of the Blades, is gone. Whoever could have seen this coming? Together with Joffrey, Martin and I travel to Cloud Ruler Temple, the secret base of the Blades that is out in the open. Listen, if the Mythic Dawn knew about the hidden sewers exit of the Imperial City, you think they wouldn't notice a massive stronghold protruding out of the mountains? I mean, I know it's supposed to be a defensive fort, but like, as far as I can tell, the Mythic Dawn heavily outnumber the Blades and have no qualms with being impaled on every sword they have for their cause, so like, I don't know if this is the play, guys. Our first objective is to head back to the Imperial City and speak with Boris to see if he knows anything about the Mythic Dawn and where they might have taken the amulet. Fun fact, if you assault the assassin before he assaults Boris, it's a crime! Second try, I accidentally stole a fucking carrot because the third-person camera in this game occasionally sucks a few hoes itself. But third try, I patiently waited to perform invasive brain surgery on the assassin and everything is fine. I take the book to Taormina, who gives me another book and a lead to the third and fourth. I then casually chat in the open about the murder of the Emperor, sure that's good for the morale of the citizens, then meet with Boris again to return to the sewers. Just like old times, huh bud? This time around, I decided to let him meet with a sponsor and I would cover, not for any particular reason aside from the hilarious headcanon I have of imagining a high-ranking official in this cult that believes themselves to be the superior power, a force that will overthrow the natural balance of things, and then suddenly a man with a gardening tool jumps out of the shadows and shows you how we do things on Nirn. While I'm taking out the trash, I just want to give a quick thanks to all my wonderful Patreons who help keep the channel alive. I couldn't do it without you. Stay beautiful, everybody. At this point, we take the books back to Taormina, and she wants to try and decipher the puzzle, but I'm a killjoy and I already know the answer, so I stand in front of this grave and wait until noon. You'll have to pry my hoe from my cold dead hands, you harlot! Well, okay, treat her right. Second try, I don't get a lightning enema and successfully steal the Book of the Damned. I also make sure to introduce all the guards and acolytes to the joys of tilling gray matter. I return to Martin and tell him to study up on daedra 101 so he can pass his finals, and he says I should go bother Joffrey. Martin, listen, I'm just trying to get you into a good school so you don't have to end up a farmer like your fake father. That footwork is awful. Y'all are never going to be able to fend off Dagon's Legion at this rate. What's that? Oh yeah, sorry, spies. So I actually decided to farm block and heavy armor off Jarl because she was doing so little damage, but then suddenly the other spies showed up. I'm pretty sure I've never seen both of them here. I mean, separately, yes, I've seen each of them independently here, but just not at the same time. I mean, I suppose there's no reason they couldn't be, I just didn't expect it. Does make hunting down the second one easier though, as you know, he came to me. I do still need to go to Jarl's basement for the plans though. Trespassing. Right. Joffrey, the spies are dead, you're welcome. Next up is getting a daedric artifact from Martin, and normally I just go grab a 0 star, but this time I was feeling a bit spicy and wanted to do something else. At this point I'm level 5 and there are a few options available to me. The Ring of the Mira, the Wubbajack, and the Skull of Corruption. Also Umbra if I wanted to have a bad time. Looking at the requirements needed, I figured the Ring of the Mira would be the easiest to achieve because I could just drink until they hate like me. I head to the feed bag to buy my drink of choice, cheap wine, then crack open a few cold ones with the demons. Namira tells me that some of his followers are being harassed by some priests of Archay, and I'm to go there and cast Fear of the Dark on them. One problem: I don't have the magicka to cast a spell. Oops. Okay, so that's an easy enough problem to fix. I can either A, level up and get more intelligence, B, find a spell that I can cast to fortify intelligence or magicka, or C, find some potions that do the same thing. Leveling up would take some time and I had no real need for intelligence, so B or C it is. I actually did find a spell for fortify magicka, but I don't have the magicka to cast that either, so potions it is! Fortunately, Claudette sells a couple. But they expensive. After selling damn near everything I own, except Mehrunes' razor as I'm keeping that as some kind of weird trophy, I am able to afford them, but I gotta make sure every cast counts. The good news though is that's all I have to do. Pop the potion and cast a spell, and the Forgotten Ones bludgeon the priest to death. Quest done. Give me my ring, you daedric god of ugly. It's actually a decent ring. I kinda don't want to give it up, but I have no desire to do any of the other quests, so here you go Martin, turn this into magic paradise powder or whatever. Now it seems an Oblivion gate has opened outside Bruma, and Captain Bird and I need to storm the beaches of hell to show these daedra what for. Upon entering, I accidentally cast Adrenaline Rush on myself, which is fine, but like, this spell is broken. For 1 minute it fortifies speed, strength, endurance, and agility by 50 points? That's fucking absurd. I actually managed to keep Bird's men alive without weight scumming. Until the literal final enemy of the gate, which took them both out. They will be missed. Joffrey, Martin, gate's closed, what's next? What's that? Blood of a god, you say? Sure, whatever, I'll go get it. Need me to grab the sacred balls of bullshittery when I'm out too? I swear these people think I'm some kind of divine delivery boy. I delve into Sanker Tor, and this kind of confirms that my hoe is indeed a basic bitch. But I have a secret weapon. It's shock damage. One of the sigil stones I picked up lets me turn my hoe into a thunder hoe. Does she got them thighs to match? I know what I like. You know what would be neat? If the ghosts were directly related to the number of NPCs you killed, so a full pacifist run through here would only encounter the undead blades, and then you can just turn undead to make them help you or something. Anyway, many ghost redeaths later, I obtained the armor of Tiber Septim himself. Alright Martin, what's next? Oh yeah, a lost artifact that is thought to have been plundered everywhere because of their immense value. Yeah, sure, no, it's no trouble at all. Starting to think Dagon has the right idea, just chilling in hell with flame matronarchs and spider daedra and whatnot. Should probably recharge my hoe, you know, get the electrolytes coursing through her, and why the fuck is that so expensive? That is insane, it cost me so much extra to give my hoe the shocker. Miss Karkand, I was expecting basically no issues here. Not because I'm suddenly doing a lot of damage or anything, but just in general the only real threat is the undead king. Everything else is just cannon fodder. I was worried I would run out of charges before getting to the end though, which would make it a bit tougher. Fortunately, that didn't happen, and I proceeded to take the undead king clubbing. Alright, I'm back. I got that stupid glowing rock. Are we done yet? You want a great sigil stone, which can only be obtained from a great Oblivion gate, like the one that reduced Kvatch to ashes. Yeah, no, hey Martin, would you like me to at least spit on this hoe before I shove it? To those of you about to die, we salute you. And by that I mean Joffrey and Boris. Every time without fail, those two will die. At this point, I had leveled up enough that stronger enemies spawn. It's not an issue, except full-grown clanfare. Their innate reflect damage ability combined with their own actual damage can quickly overpower me. Fortunately, they have a brain the size of a walnut. So has anyone else encountered this, sort of invincible Dromora? I say sort of because here I am not able to hurt him, but if I recall correctly, my other characters were able to with spells. So does he have like a 100% physical damage buff or what? Is each copy of the Oblivion remaster personalized? I ended up running away from him hoping to lead him into some trap. Yeah, like that, but with him. Weirdly, he didn't respawn after I reloaded, which makes me question if he was a glitch or not, but oh well. Rest of the way up is uneventful and I grab the big red rock. Alright, Martin, you have nice clothes, a ring, and some solid stones. Send me to paradise. Wait, no, I didn't mean— Getting through the garden and the grotto was no real issue. Cathatot was as imposing as a bag of soggy potatoes. The only annoying part was listening to Cameron and Eldermill trying to talk over each other. What? I think you said get in the cage. Or was it sit on the sage? Is the sage at least hot? You know, like that lava? It's just time for the final confrontation with Cameron. Now, my biggest worry is that he will heal faster than I can damage him. Except he just didn't heal. Well, maybe. He did cast something here, but I'm not sure what it did. Didn't help him though, that's for sure. Well, Martin, it's over. I've got your necklace, now let's go get you that throne. Is what I would say, but Dagon is a sore loser, and despite being bested by a man and his hoe, decided to throw his agents of chaos at the city one final time. And then when that proved to not be enough, he decided he would do it himself. I literally just ran under his feet and into the Temple of the One. Oh, that's what you meant when you said the only thing that could defeat Dagon was a hoe and a bad dragon.